Who knew that all of this could grow out of your daily caffeine hit? From the waste grounds of coffee to being plated up in restaurants, these oyster mushrooms are in high demand in Newcastle in the northeast of England.
It's a waste product, and at the moment we get it free and it's easy to collect, and keeps it out of landfill. And also the mushrooms love it.
Social enterprise company Urban Mushrooms was set up by the local branch of the YMCA, the oldest youth charity in the world. It all began with a concept to create jobs for young people in the area, but the company is also putting thousands of tonnes of coffee waste to good use.
It's taking a product what could have went in the bin and making a new product for chefs like me to cook with, and it's just kind of like a cycle which needs to happen more often. Not just with mushrooms, but with more foods instead of wasting it.
The young employees and volunteers collect the used grounds from local coffee shops. They're brought back here and pasteurised. Then, mushroom spawn, a grain containing the vegetative growth of a fungus, is added. And this is the result. The final products are sold to local cafes and restaurants. Cameron Bell is a chef at Tyneside Cinema, but also works for Urban Mushrooms and is involved in the entire process.
A lot of my friends and stuff like that went to the YMCA when we were younger, and it helped a lot. Kept them out of trouble, kept them off the street.
From coffee shop to this fruiting room, the whole process takes around 6 weeks. Currently, the YMCA is producing around 12 kilograms a week, but the mushrooms are proving so popular with local cafes and restaurants. At the moment, they just can't meet the demand.
One of the reasons for that is because ours are picked daily, fresh, delivered within an hour of being picked straight to the restaurant. At the moment, the restaurants get theirs from an importer through the local market structure, so they're 3 or 4 or 5 days old when they get them. So actually, we've created ourselves a huge problem, is that we can't actually make enough to meet the fresh market.
Peace and Loaf is another restaurant that can't get enough of these urban mushrooms. And like Tyneside Cinema, they change their menu to include the fresh ingredients when they come in.
A lot of industries and restaurants go bust because they don't do that as well. You know, they'll try and pay X, Y and Z to get the best stuff when really it's on the doorstep. You know, it's from round the corner.
And while using local produce is important for this restaurant, Kyle Greenwood has another reason to support the company.
I'm from quite a rough area, and you know, we didn't have as many charities then, you know, helping people even get into work, and because the funding wasn't there. But when you've got a product like this, it gives enterprises money and structure.
Local youth unemployment in Newcastle is as high as 25%, and the YMCA is set up in one of the most disadvantaged suburbs.
Well, we didn't set out to become mushroom growing experts, and we didn't set out to become the dominant food supplier. What we set out to do was create jobs for young people. Young people in the city face a whole number of barriers into employment. On average, 30% of young people live in households of poverty, and in half of the city, up to 50 or 60%, depending on the ward they live in households of poverty.
The scheme has been running for over a year, helped by a capital grant from Virgin Money. Some of their young workers have been in the welfare system their whole lives, and this provides them with vital job skills. And volunteers like Jade Sutherland are also here to set a good example. She works as a bar manager and is also studying on top of her work with Urban Mushrooms.
I get a lot of questions about what I do, how I manage to pile it all in at once, and I think it does encourage them that it can be done. Just got to really work hard, and it's there, and the opportunities are there if you're willing to take them on.
Urban Mushrooms is planning on expanding its reach soon with these grow your own kits. They're being prepared just in time for the Christmas season. Chief Executive of the YMCA, Jeff Hurst, says the model can be picked up by other communities around the UK.
Youth unemployment in the country is one of the highest categories of unemployment. So if we could take our model into some kind of franchise or quasi-franchise and look at every major city where you've got the 3 main ingredients, young people, coffee and restaurants, then we should be able to replicate this scheme across the country. If we're going to expand to meet the market that we know is out there, if we're going to expand our production, we need some investment.
So far, the company has stopped 7,000 tonnes of coffee grounds going into landfill. And perhaps more importantly, it's also bringing together a community. Katie Gregory for CCTV.